Courtney, really nice to talk to you. I've been fascinated about your career because you haven't been doing comedy for that long, have you?
No, I did my first gig in 2019. So yeah, only sort of 5 years, coming up 6, which is exciting.
Yeah, and you've been popping up everywhere, TV shows, gigs, you name it. Is it exciting, but is it also daunting?
Yeah, it's super random. I did not expect to do this. I think when I started comedy, I was just like working in retail. I just started doing it because my dad had been doing it for about a year and he was like, go on, give it a go. So I did. And then I was like, oh, this is really fun. And then within 2 years, then I started getting some TV gigs and it's been like pretty hurricane vibes, just sort of out of nowhere, but it has been super awesome. Yeah.
So what's it been like? People recognize you, I assume, out in the street?
Yeah, I think after I did Celebrity Treasure Island, I definitely get recognized more. Not so much in Auckland, but in the regions, really famous. I've never felt more famous than I did in Whakatane.
Yeah. That's good. So Celebrity Treasure Island, I was going to ask you a little bit about that later on, but what was that like overall? I mean, we only ever get a very edited view of what actually goes on. So from your perspective, what was that like?
It's crazy. Like, I think even though they're condensing like 12 hours of filming into 1 hour of television, it's like a pretty like true reflection of what's going on. It was funny. Like, I think that a lot of people, when they watch it, they're like, oh my God, it's so fake. And like, there are like different little fake things where they're like, you have to go and find something to push the story forward. And sometimes the producers are like, hey, there's something down at the lake I want you to go and look at. But then the real stuff of it is so real, like all of the emotions. You're so tired, you're so sleep deprived, you're like gotten to know people in a really short space of time, but really, really deeply. It's definitely, it's one of like the best experiences of my life, but it was also good. Like, yeah, super harrowing at the time. I cried every day.
It's certainly testing. Yeah, absolutely testing. So you mentioned your dad before because you've worked with your father, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah, we did it. We had a duo show in the Comedy Fest, I think 2021. And that's fun. And we're often on lineups and stuff together, which is nice. It just means like sometimes we're like in the green room and we're just like talking about like our family business. Oh, when's my sister coming home? Oh, are you going to come over for dinner on Sunday? Kind of thing, which is different from a lot of green room chat, I have to say.
It's like, oh no, we've got a show come on. We've got to focus. Yeah. So really, you said knowing your dad, obviously that was one of the catalysts, but what made you really want to pursue this avenue? Was it you just felt, oh, I've got this itch inside me, I just need to explore it?
Well, I mean, like I had my son when I was quite young. I was like 20 when I had my son. And before that, I'd like loved doing drama, had loved like writing and stuff. But then everything just got sort of put on hold. And so I was like, okay, I've got to stop mucking around. I got to go and make some money and be a solo mum and look after my kid. So I did that for about 10 years. And I had never really thought about going into like the performing arts seriously until this like randomly came up out of nowhere. And I've had the opportunity to do so many things with it, like not just comedy, but I've been able to do some acting and some improv and, all this stuff. So it's something that I've always like wanted to do secretly that I've just like started to do publicly.
Brilliant. Now your show is called, the upcoming show is part of the Nelson Festival, Arts Festival, and it's called Dreams Are Free. So just a little bit of an exploration of to what's that about, and without giving too much away, what you're hoping the audience will get out of it.
Yeah, I think that it's my first solo show, which is like awesome because it means that like every joke I've ever told, like I've got, I'm allowed to use kind of thing, which is, sometimes it's jokes that I've honed over 3 or 4 years. But I guess the show is just about how the trajectory of my career has been like pretty out of nowhere to myself and to everyone in my life. And that's like definitely caused a few speed wobbles in the past. It's been, actually really like super rewarding and like really grateful for it, but like really mentally challenging in a lot of ways, trying to adjust. A big part of it is that like I'm always broke. And then after I did all this TV stuff, I was like, I've got the most amount of money I've ever had in my life, but I don't know how to deal with that. And so that's what it's just, I guess, about my journey through comedy so far and trying to adjust. Yeah.
So, what's your personality like when you're not performing? Are you outgoing? Are you introspective? What kind of person are you?
I'm a pretty social person. I'm pretty like I love like after shows, like going and meeting the audience, and like I love that's just part of the thing that I love the most about comedy is like all of these like awesome people that I've been able to meet, not just in the industry, but just like random people who like connect with my comedy, or just like a lot of the time people who come to my shows, it's the first time they've ever been to a comedy show. It's the first time they've ever been to a theatre show. So, so that's like it fits my personality perfectly. Yeah.
So I was looking at the official picture for the show,
Yes.
Dreams Are Free. And so I'm just looking at it now. You're in pajamas, your hair in curlers. It looks like you're holding, is that a teddy bear or a bunny, maybe?
It is a teddy bear. It's my friend's nephew's teddy bear.
Yeah. And it's either an orange highlighter or a vape pen. I'm not quite sure. It's, it's got that shape. What is that object?
That is a vape. It is a
vape pen. I won't ask any more about that. And then the phone. So is in your other hand. And so I'm thinking, dreams are free. Is there some kind of thing that relates to not only wanting a good life or speculating, but also about being late night doom scrolling on your phone? Does that kind of come into it?
Yeah, I think part of it is that like, I've had this opportunity to like do all this work and do all this stuff that I never been able to do. But I'm also like, I am a social person, but I'm also like, I'm a chiller. Like I'm a relaxed lady. So having to like be my own boss and do all this mahi by myself, and I'm like, man, I just want to have a nap. I just love a nap.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't love a nap? Yeah. Do you ever get nerves before you go on? Is that part of
I do.
The equation?
The shows where I haven't been nervous, I've bombed. I've always bombed.
Yeah, interesting.
Because I think the nerves sort of like hype me up and put me in a different headspace, and like it's like big adrenaline push.
So without the nerves, it's almost complacency.
Yeah, it's just I'm flat.
Yeah. That's a really interesting one, isn't it? I've done some public speaking over the years, and I kind of like to think of the nerves actually as excitement. So rather than nervousness, it's like, actually, no, think of it about you're getting ready to be larger than life and get out there and do it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no other, I've never ever felt a feeling like I have absolutely killing to an audience. And like, it's flying. So it's very addictive as well, that like nervous adrenaline.
So I had probably my last question for you actually is, do you have a go-to comfort food? Is there something that, particularly if you're feeling stressed or it's winter, what do you like to eat?
Yeah, so I think I like to think I've got a pretty sophisticated palate. I'm out in the restaurants, I know what's going on around town. But my comfort food is just anything that's just like macaroni cheese on toast, butter on toast, butter on bread. If it doesn't have any color, that's comforting and nice to me.
No, that sounds brilliant. Hey, a real pleasure to talk to you. All the best for the show, and I know that we'll be seeing lots more of you over the coming years. So congratulations, and thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andrew.